Iowa is traveling to Penn State in a whiteout game alert. Whiteout game alert. Week 4, they're whipping out the whiteout game. Wow.
Can I say something real quick? As a former
Sure.
victim, an absolute victim, as Minnesota went in last year and got bodied, Fox and Big Noon Kickoff has completely ruined any Big Ten West team's chance of coming into Penn State and getting win. That's what I'm gonna say. Because instead of instead
Because
of
all their because the Michigan
Ohio
Ohio
State
State
and
games.
Michigan should be this game, and it has been historically, right? You all remember the Saquon Barkley game. You all remember, where McSorley got tackled by Chase Young. You all remember that the block punt for whatever. Like those are iconic games and iconic whiteout games. But now the big noon kickoff happens. Ohio State and Michigan are always at that noon window. Hopefully the new TV rights deal they change that up. But yeah, I just wanted to say that and give our Big Ten West, big time underdogs just our say because we're fed up. We're fed up with getting bodied at the whiteout game.
Yeah. Looking, Iowa already has some body bags of their own that they're dealing with. I mean, Caleb Johnson, Jay-Z and Patterson, Luke Lachey. So I don't know. I keep hearing Lackey, Locky, Lachey. I don't know. I don't know how to
Regardless,
pronounce
he's
it.
a stud. He's a stud.
Regardless, he's a
He's
stud.
and he's out for the year. I mean, that poor fella, man. We're gonna miss him. I was gonna miss him for sure. Cade McNamara's still back. We don't know how healthy he still is. Yeah.
Yeah, so like there's so many question marks surrounding Iowa's roster. So uh yeah, quickly give me Penn State and the points here in the whiteout game. I mean,
Yeah.
sorry, what about you?
I agree. I agree. But I agree. And I'm high on Penn State. I took the over, almost put a double unit on it. You're high on Penn State. Um, it's the whiteout game. Enough said. They're gonna win this game. It's just about how much they're gonna win it by. The thing is, if you're Iowa, okay, we talk about how can they win this game. You have to watch last week's game and Illinois. Illinois was in that game for a while. Luke Altmaier and the offense, right? It wasn't all on him, but the offense let him down, let that defense down by throwing the too many picks, too many interceptions. And Drew Alar and that running game didn't get going until really the second half. Actually, it really never got going, but eventually they pulled away and the game was out of hand. Iowa can do that, and they're a team that historically has done a really good job of taking care of the football and forcing you to make mistakes. Now that defense is really good, obviously, and the secondary is really good. They've got some stars back there, but without Luke Latchley, without Caleb Johnson, right, and maybe a not 100% Cade McNamara, I don't see it happening. I really don't. I would like to see Penn State dominate this game. I would like to. There's no reason you're not. I was injured. It's the whiteout game. You're pissed off after what happened last week against Illinois. This has to be a domination game for Penn State. If you're elite like you say you are, like I say you are, a lot of people say you are, you have to dominate this game for 60 minutes. What say you?
Yeah, I do think, and look, I sound really confident taking Penn State minus 14 and a half. And the reason that I actually am not going to be laying money on this, right, is because both these teams defensively are really, really good, and they're going to
Yep.
probably like to run the football. Okay. Um, so if Iowa does some of what Illinois did last week on the defensive line, now granted they don't have the same exact caliber defensive lineman that Illinois has, but the overall talent on the defense on Iowa is better than Illinois. So I think that they can keep a low. I mean, the over under right now is at 40 and a half, right? So I mean, I was very close to wanting to take the under for this game, but what's stopping me was that I do think Iowa historically takes care of the football, but with all these injuries, you start taking shots. I don't know. I think things could get ugly, but if it does stay like a low scoring game, then there's no way Penn State can cover 14 and a half. I don't think. Unless it's like they could cover like could be 21-3, right? Or 28-7, right? So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say, but I do think Penn State I mean, lock them in for a win, right? I mean, just put it in the win column, basically, right? But that's not to say I don't like Iowa. In fact, I took their over on a win total, right? If you're both these teams, I took their over on the win total. So don't come at me thinking I'm a big time Iowa hater, right? I was a big time believer. In fact, I got that line at 6.5 or 7.5 when he was out there. And then on our show, I took it at 8, just, for fun, because I think they're going to hit it for sure. But I was by far right now has looked like the best team in the Big Ten West. I think Penn State, I think, has actually looked for all 3 games. If you're taking the sum of the 3 games, I think Penn State has looked like the best team in the Big Ten East. So this is a really interesting game. Yeah, I can't help but think whiteouts, injuries for Iowa. Look, if there were a bunch of children in the hospital watching this game, right, and Iowa was all healthy, there is no way that Penn State is covering 14.5.
The line's closer to 7, right?
Yeah, I would think it
How,
would be at like 9.5, 10.
we talked about this a little over the summer, I believe, but does Vegas really put a thought into whiteout? Like, do they have to factor that in? Like, because you probably
Yeah,
get
they
a
have to.
certain you get a certain home field advantage power, whatever that is, right? But a whiteout, you have to do something. I don't know if it's a point, if it's a half a point, if it's a point and a half. Like, I don't know what exactly it is, but it's got to be something,
Here's the thing,
right?
though. If the market is going to react to it, right, then Vegas is on it, right? So either way, right, if they didn't account for it, the market will respond in a way that would make
Account
it
for,
account for it, right? So then,
yeah.
like this line that we're seeing at Wednesday, Thursday, right, it would account for it either way if they didn't, but they do because they don't want they know. Come on, they're all those big buildings in Vegas. I mean, someone's got to pay for them. It's not gonna be me. I'll tell you that. It's not gonna
Not
be
on
me.
Dawson Diner.
Not in Dawson's Diner this week, baby. We're coming back. We're bouncing back.